Earlier, we discussed the methods for summarizing and organizing the data obtained from observing one variable. Such data is called univariate data. When we're interested in studying the relationship between a pair of variables, we must collect and organize the data on two variables at the same time. Such data itself is called bivariate data, and there are several ways to organize such data depending on the types of the variables. When both variables are quantitative, we can construct a scatterplot to organize the data. To construct a scatterplot, we use a horizontal axis for the observations of one variable and a vertical axis for the observations of the other variable. When picking each axis to use for each variable, consider whether you suspect that one variable depends on the other. The independent variable then will be on the x-axis, and the dependent variable will be on the y-axis. After that, each pair of observations will be plotted as a point. The example here demonstrates the summary of the observed relation between the age and the mileage of cars. In this scatterplot, each point is associated with a car. For example, car 1 is the point whose x-coordinate is 7 and the y-coordinate is 78,500 roughly. Car 2 is the point whose x-coordinate is 2 and the y-coordinate is 12,500 roughly, and so on. Here's another example of a scatterplot that demonstrates the observed relation between the scores on the third exam and the scores on the final exam. Notice that the third exam is on the x-axis, as we may suspect that it may have effect on the final exam scores, and therefore it is independent variable, while the final exam scores are dependent variables. When one of the variables is time and there is only one observation for each moment of time, we can construct the scatterplot, and then we can connect the points on the scatterplot with lines. Such graph is called time series. The example here demonstrates the summary of the observed relation between the year and the CO2 emissions for the United States. We discussed the scatterplots and how to use them to organize bivariate data when both variables are quantitative.